Hi, this is Depressing Drawers, and this is a video about a BBC Micro that I recently received. I wanted to go through the process of opening this thing up, having a look around it, and seeing if I can get it working. Now, I've bought this completely sight unseen, so it's a complete mystery as to what kind of state it's in, what's inside it, we'll get to that in a minute, and whether it'll even work or not. I've got no idea. It could be full of mice, it could be full of nothing. You know, I could have bought the metaphorical car with no engine inside of here. I don't know. I just don't know, but I thought it might be interesting in the most mild way possible to document it, just a little bit. We're not going to get too crazy, we'll just see how we get on. So what are my hopes and dreams for this machine? Well, I bought it off eBay. It's a total gamble, and the reason I did that is because the seller had mislabeled the auction, right? What they ought to have done is called it a BBC Micro Model B on the auction listing. However, what they actually called it was a vintage microcomputer, meaning that no one found it. And so I was very lucky to get it at a pretty cheap price, because the prices on these at the moment are going absolutely nuts. I mean, people are refurbishing them and selling them for 200 quid, which is ridiculous. It is absolutely obscene, but there we go. That is the modern world in which we live. Anyway, the BBC Micro, an 8-bit computer, was fairly unique, I think, at the time, because it had user replaceable ROM chip that you could purchase separately from, separate manufacturers, which you could add in the BBC to give it additional functionality. So one of the things what you find when you open up the BBC Micro, so you don't really know what you're going to get inside it. Are you going to get some additional interesting chips? Are there going to be no additional chips in it? Don't know. I suspect this one will have something in it, because we've got this like overlay inserted under the Perspex cover here, which usually indicates that it had additional ROM program installed in it. So let's open it up and have a look. So what have we got here? Well, we've got 30 years of filth, which is to be expected, although it's not that bad to be fair. We've got some dust bunnies floating around and what have you. But yes, we do look like we have a custom ROM. Well, not custom ROM, third party ROM, OEM ROM, whatever you want to call it. So it looked like WordWise. So if I can get this bloody thing working, that will be exciting to check out a 30-year-old word processor. Other than that, looks pretty standard. Looks pretty tidy, actually, in fairness. Doesn't look like there's an awful lot wrong with it. I was also expecting there to be an issue number on this board, but from what I can tell, it doesn't seem to be one. Unless I don't know where I'm looking, which is more than likely, but it just seems to be missing from what I see here, which is a little bit curious. Actually, interesting little bit of provenance that I've just found in here. We seem to have a bit of paper which indicates, I assume, the date of assembly, which is badly printed. Whoever did this really didn't give a fuck. I'm thinking fairness. But looks like 8th of June 1983, perhaps. Interesting. But the next thing we've got to do is replace the caps out of the PSU, because these old caps are old, papery and dry, and will explode at the slightest provocation. So before we do anything, before I can even plug it in, I've got to see if it works or not. So before we do anything, before we plug it in, I've got to do a little bit of electrical maintenance on the PSU. And so this is the infamous PSU, which is highly prone to shitting the bed if you turn it on after 30 years. And there is the underside of the PSU now, and also you can see a prominently displayed part of the aforementioned reefer cap that has just been crumbled off during just literally me turning it over, just fell out of the PSU. So you can see why the good idea is to not plug these in without an inspection first, because like I say, these reefer caps, they were never meant to last. They're pushing 40 years old and they're just crumbling apart, so you just don't want to plug it in this state. And so, using my incredible forensic analysis and my towering preternatural intellect, bordering on precognition, I think that we can tell here that what we have is an exploded reefer cap. And so, what has happened here? Well, what we've got is that some knoblet has plugged this in and it's exploded. As I said before. Now, why are they a knoblet? They're not a knoblet because they plugged it in and it exploded, because to be honest with you, that could happen to anyone. If you're plugging in a 30-year-old computer, then you really ought to be checking the PSU first, but you know, that could happen to anyone. Why they're a knoblet is that what they've done is they've got it out of the attic, they've plugged it in, turned it on, it's exploded, and they will have noticed because there would have been smoke and maybe a flash of light, like a sign from God himself. And what they've then done is they've gone, ooh, I'll stick that on eBay then. If you've done that, just fucking say in the description that you turned it on and it exploded, because I tell you what, it doesn't hurt the price at all. People who are collecting these things know that the capacitors go in them at this sort of age, and they're prepared for it. So you'll still get full whack for it, to be honest with you, because people are willing to pay stupid prices for them in basically any condition. So, what a twat. Okay, so that is one PSU, all recapped. Sorry to spoil the surprise, but the voltages I've checked and the voltages are correct, coming out the right leads, so we're all good on that one. So all that's left to do really now, before we can actually test it, because it may not still turn on, is I'm going to give the board a clean down and use some contact cleaner on some of the joints, and we'll see how we get on. Right, so we can put it off no longer. And just at this stage, what we're really hoping for, the hopes and dreams, are that we hear a nice, happy start-up tone, and not a long, continuous, sad, broken tone, or any kind of explosion, or electrocution. We don't want any of that. So, I guess with that, okay, so, well, that was a tone, so that was something. Sounded like a sad tone. Okay, well, let's see if we get any output from it at all. Okay, so all hope is not lost, because if I turn it on to the TV, we get a little blinking cursor. So that's a good sign, because at least we've got some kind of output. I wonder if these ROMs are in the wrong place, which I know it matters where you place them. So maybe we'll try taking this Wordwise ROM out. Okay, so I've taken out the Wordwise ROM and I notice that it has got a badly soldered leg on it, which I'll show you in a bit, but I wonder if that could have anything to do with this. Let's give this another try. Oh, helps if I plug it in. Right, so we'll try again, this time with power, which certainly can't hurt. No, still this mysterious cursor. Highly curious. I shall do some research on the internet, I think, about this one. Right, so where are we now? Well, been doing a little bit of research, doing a little bit of jiggery pokery, removing ICs, putting them back in, squirting contact cleaner everywhere, up my arse, in my eyes, you know, just anything to see if it'll work or not. But on the advice of some nice gentleman from 2010 on some dodgy news group, thank God it's accessible to the public, that's all I can say. I've put, or I guess I've disabled, I think, what is the upper half of the 32K memory, so it's running in 16K mode. So now if I turn it on, we have something. So we've got half a we've got half a BBC Micro at the moment. Should be 32K, but we've got 16K at the moment, and you know, I think we're getting there. I think this BBC wants to live. I think it just needs just a little bit more encouragement. So yeah, so like he's functioning. He's getting better, I think. So now I need to see. So I don't know. I think I probably need some new RAM by the looks of it. Inhale, exhale. Just got some RAM in the mail. Alright, so let's have a look if the new RAM makes any difference. Yep, and so it turns out that yes, it is a dodgy RAM chip, unfortunately, but that's not a problem. Seems to be working beautifully now. We've replaced the culprit. Here he is on the screen now. Naughty little chip that he is. Yeah, I think pretty easy fix, I think, all things considered. Could have been a lot of things, but the RAM on these old machines does tend to go bad after a period, or at least some of them, probably manufacturing defects. I don't know why RAM goes bad, to be honest with you, but yeah, looking good. Okay, so we wanted to do some direct capture, but wouldn't you know it, I don't have the right connections. So let's just do a bit of the old school film and the TV. And of course we have the classic Granny's Garden. Here we go. Oh yes, this is basically the only reason I bought this machine, just because I wanted the authentic canonical version of Granny's Garden. If you say no, it just kicks you out. So yes, we'll start. And that's something that you'll notice about this game, is that the correct answer to any of these sort of games as questions is usually yes. There's really no room for negativity in this game, and probably one of the most fascinating parts of any game ever is just literally, can you guess which of these 12 trees is the correct one? So I don't know, A1. Nope, not enough magic in that tree. Not that one either. No, not D12, that is not a correct option. Right, so it was the second from last what I chose. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. I rather like the scene, even though, you know, you can literally count the pixels. But welcome to the Kingdom of Mountains. There's obviously a lot of mountains in this kingdom. Do you have a password? I do not. Can you see okay if I do not? Apparently not. I guess so. And a river of blood emerges from the blue cave on. And here he comes. our guide throughout the game. The King and the Queen's Blue Raven. There he is. He's got magic powers. I mean, obviously, naturally. Oh dear. Oh dear, we don't like that. Yes, let's go. Where are we dropping, boys? Right, we're at the woodcutter's house. Yes, I would like to go in. Okay. Well, if you can't spot it, it is indeed figs. I would like an apple from the tree. Now, let's go to the cupboard. Well, who doesn't want a red broomstick? A broomstick, I should say. But no, that is the incorrect answer. Why would you think you should be allowed to take the red broomstick? And of course, the hideous witch has caught us. Yep, she's going to send us home. Well, probably this could have been one of the better outcomes there, could have been. And here we have the BBC reassembled and given a bit of a spruce up and clean with some handy flash wipes and just a little bit of interior plastic cleaners. Looking pretty good, I think. If you look at the before and after, which is on screen now, I think it's come up quite nicely. I don't want to do anything like retro brighting or anything to these sort of things. I always think the retro brighting looks a little bit fake, really. You know, we're dealing with 30-year-old machines here, and I think it's fucking motorbike. I think you need to let them wear their yellowing, because that is just the age that they are. I think that the aesthetics are not the be-all and end-all of these sort of things. One thing I want to say as well, you know, this was not a difficult fix. Really, all it took was some replacement of the caps of the PSU. That's not difficult. That's just fairly basic soldering with through-hole components. Not difficult. And a little bit of diagnosing a RAM fault. And really, all I did for that is some research on the internet, and that was it, really. It could have been a lot worse if any of the other ICs had gone. I think that the diagnosis could have been a lot more difficult had it been anything but the RAM chips had gone, but I don't think they go too often, really, by what research I had done. So really, I think the moral of the story is that anyone can really fix things like this if they're of a mind to. I think it's just having the wherewithal to get on with it, really. And so yeah, I think that is about it. I'm glad that, you know, I managed to pick up this BBC, and it's been a fun little journey to bring it back to life and get it up and running once again. It's been a good time, so I hope you enjoyed. So thanks from me, and I have to go. Guys, what is up? This is ShitStation, and I'm here for the BBC Micro 3am challenge. Guys, I've bought this BBC Micro off the dark web, and I've brought it back from the dead, resurrected it. So now what we're going to try and do is contact the spirit of Alan Boothroyd on this resurrected BBC. Guys, I've inputted the special incarnation into this possessed BBC, and we'll see if we can indeed speak to the spirits. Oh no!